Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night with Kettle Kitchen. Gotcha, Blue. Ha 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 ha.
Wow.
So here we are with another Friday night edition. How you guys doing?
Friday night, just got paid.
Nice. Payday's the best Friday.
Oh,
I'm
it
just
is.
kidding.
It is. So I want to say welcome to Blue. Thank you for coming.
Hello.
In. Welcome to JJ all by himself, solo in the chair. Two doctors, Janet and Daniel. Thank you for coming in. Tina, Southern Heritage Cooking. Thank you for joining us. You're kind of quiet tonight.
Oh my God. You would not
Okay.
believe what happened. So
You just popped open the soda can.
I
Boy, that was reactive.
Oh
I
my
feel-
God.
I feel a little rummy, so I'm probably going to be a little giggly and silly. I left for work this morning at 5 o'clock, and I didn't get home until almost 8 o'clock. And I had breakfast and no lunch, and I was running from the time I got to work. You would not believe the people that came into my office. How I got anything done, I have no clue. So then I drove home and I had my grandson, I called him. I said, so do the goats have hay? And he took the flashlight out and he goes, no, Grandma, they don't got hay. And it's like, damn. So I had to feed. And then we hadn't even.
Don't talk bad about him. He's standing right behind you.
He's right there.
I saying it to his face. I know it. And then I was starving. And I'm telling you, when I'm starving like that, it affects my natural charm in a bad way.
Did you eat, girl? I feel like you should take a little break and go get a snack and come back.
What was that? What was that, JJ?
Instead of snickering might not even work in that case.
Yeah.
No, I was cooking and my grandson kept telling me, he says, Grandma, it's 8:38. And it's like, crap. I gotta eat or I'm not gonna be friendly at all.
It reminds me of the term that Daniel used last week, hangry.
Hangry.
It's a
That's
real
legit.
thing.
Yeah.
It is
I was beyond there.
Oh,
I was beyond there.
Lori Hyman just said it. You get hangry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was beyond hangry. I was like, if one more person asked me for anything, they were gonna die. That was it.
Hey, Tina, you got coffee?
I actually am super, super sensitive to caffeine. So I have 1 cup in the morning and I have a rule for that cup. Nobody gets to talk to me while I do it.
I like that.
I love that.
And of course, I want to say hello to our celebrity Ginger.
Miss Ginger.
Not a celebrity. Not a celebrity.
She's hitting the YouTube circuit lately. So
Mhm.
I'm in the circuit. I'm a cowgirl. We
thank
have
you for coming in.
somebody that looks new. I'm not familiar. Gray Wolf Outdoors Homestead came in, said hi everybody on panel.
That's Skip. Yep.
Okay, well, I don't know Skip, so I'm gonna say hi, Skip.
You can say hi.
And Tom Garvey, the keto cooks in the
The
house.
Keto King.
Tom Garvey. Greatest
So
of all time.
I'm going to finish my job that I was working on, Miss Ginger. I'd like to welcome everybody in from chat. Two Doctors Homestead, thank you for coming in. Lori Hyman, I already said hi. Thank you for coming in. Big Valley Living is in. Michelle is in chat. So she is not ditched, JJ, but she's not with us on panel tonight.
She's right there.
But she did not ditch JJ.
Yeah,
She was right there just a second ago.
Yeah, she's right there.
Yeah. And then Skip, Gray Wolf Outdoors Homestead, thank you for coming in. Tom Garvey, the keto cook, hello, thank you for coming in. Not for nothing Homestead, watch out, that's a shady person.
She sure is. She's all in black tonight.
Yes, she is.
Mr. Johnny Cash over here.
That's
And
right.
the rooster. Don't forget the rooster.
He has a name now?
Yeah, I just named him
What's his
What did you
name?
name him?
Rocky.
I
Rocky.
love
Rocky.
it.
That's a good
Rooster.
name. I got Leroy in the coop. The rooster name.
I ain't got nothing.
I'm working on that coat.
I got a
I
hot
got
rooster in my coop.
I have Beulah with me tonight.
There you
I got my
go.
notepad.
Wow, that's fancy too.
Kettle Kitchen mascot.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, all
Look at
decked
that.
out for the award
That's
show.
like it's some disco stuff right there, man.
I got an
Christmas.
audience on the shelf, but you know
There
the
you go.
camera's pointing this way.
So tonight, our conversation, two specific things I want to hit. I'm going to hit what I think is the easier of the two. And I already told everybody on panel I was going to ask this question, so I do want to ask it so we have enough time to answer it. Have you guys been able to start addressing your goals that you set out for your channels this year? Or are you guys still playing the typical resolution thing where you're like, haven't quite got there, or yes, gung-ho, all in it, or we'll get there when we get there? I'm going to start with two doctors. How about you guys?
Yeah, I was just thinking, I hope I have a list of the goals around I can look at just to make sure I didn't forget what they were there. No, we are.
I have.
She has. Yeah.
I canned up some keto
She's been
stuff
canning a lot,
for
right?
some quick
Ooh.
meals, and that was one
Good.
of my goals.
Yeah.
Is to do that, and one of my goals was to learn more about keto. And just for y'all to know, I've made my own chaffle recipe.
Oh, she's got a secret chaffle recipe.
Secret chaffle recipe that will be coming out probably this week.
I have never had that before.
So good. It was
Super
good.
secret.
It was actually really good. Yeah, she's going to do a whole
Good.
thing on the chaffle.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of prioritizing right now. We want to do a coop or a house, whatever you call it, Avery, for our turkeys.
Mhm.
So we picked a design now, and then we're going to have to go out and kind of stake out an area and figure out how big we want to
Got
do it. And I'm thinking February, especially if it stays like 70 degrees all winter. We'll go out and start working on it.
Yeah, you guys are loving that weather right now,
It's
aren't you?
weird
Oh my
weather.
gosh,
Yeah, it is
Well,
weird.
today it was cold though.
It was a little
Today it was
cold.
probably in. Oh, that's just rude. It was
It's-
probably in the.
Yeah, don't
50s.
It was like 50. It was like 50 out. It was like.
But it was compared to yesterday was close to 80s
Yeah,
for it
it's
to
a
drop to
weird
50
winter.
today. My
Good
uncle
bragging. Oh
was
my God.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sitting here. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I don't care if she says anything above 35, I'm going to
Right.
strangle her.
I know.
Right,
Well, I
exactly.
mean,
Yeah,
having grown up in the upper Midwest, I stopped myself and I'm like, you know what?
it's not really cold.
That's just rude. Shut
Right.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're prioritizing and we're starting to
Excuse
do
me.
some layouts. I got to draw up the blueprints for what we want to build, and I like to, before I'll build something, I draw it all out and then figure out how much wood and what kind of wood. And I'm usually pretty good at estimating that stuff. So we'll draw it up and estimate it out. So that's our first.
And
I
I've
think,
been
big
figuring
project.
out which kind of turkeys I want.
Right, we have to figure out where to
This is
get
a
the
big-
turkeys.
This is a big.
I thought you
hit for
guys
me.
already had turkeys.
We had turkeys and we ate them.
We had broad-breasted
Oh.
bronze turkeys.
Got
Yes.
We ate the turkeys.
We
Got you.
ate them.
Right.
Got you.
These are going to be replaced with heritage breeds, which take
Yeah.
a lot longer to,
Yeah.
and then you can actually, have them incubate.
Were they
Somebody-
keto?
Turkeys are keto. Absolutely.
Totally keto.
Everything about
There
them.
you go.
The turkey and the eggs are all keto.
How
So
about the feathers?
yeah,
Well,
they're high
when
protein.
you know what, when they naturally molt, through the year, there's people on Etsy that sell turkey feathers,
Yeah.
peacock feathers, chicken feathers, just the pretty
Peacock
ones for the
feathers, I've
natural
seen.
molt.
Yeah,
I would
Yeah.
love a peacock, but I hear they're really mean.
Right.
I've heard that.
I would.
And they
I'd love a
cry.
goose, but I
Cry,
heard they
scream
really
all
mean.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're working towards our goals.
Fish.
Michelle, you're funny. You're funny, Michelle.
I'm loving it.
What did I miss?
I don't know.
You have to look in chat.
What it was.
Well,
Hey,
I'm
Annie's
too-
kitchen came in.
I'm too busy talking. Sorry.
He's trying to produce the show here.
I'm trying to.
Right.
It's not working very well, but
And
I'm
we're
trying.
still doing our challenge. We're still doing
Listen.
we're buying our $5 every week.
Yeah, we're doing the $5 challenge. We started the 5-gallon bucket challenge, and I'm going to do a video tomorrow. I came home. I was gone for the
We
week.
got kale.
There's kale growing.
Yeah.
I was going to do a video tonight, but I'll do the video tomorrow. There's little bits of
There's
kale
teeny
sticking
tiny
up
baby
out of
kales
the
in there.
dirt.
So I
Okay.
watched your 5-gallon bucket challenge.
Yeah.
And so the bucket that I had in my mind was not the bucket that you had a video on.
No.
Now I am on the hunt for that bucket.
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby.
Oh,
Hobby
thank
Lobby.
Look at how cute it is. I
Yeah.
think for real.
It's adorable.
So that was the deal. She's like, we're not putting a 5-gallon bucket right there.
That
So,
is super
Oh,
cute.
that's
Because it's gotta be
cool.
cute.
right.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
super
cool,
cute.
actually.
Yeah, we had to go to Hobby Lobby, let her pick something out. So.
Well, because my idea was I looked at it and I said surface area wise, that's the same surface area you would get with a tall 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
And I'm not growing anything that needs deep roots. If I was growing a
Oh,
root
no, that-
vegetable, then yeah, I would need
Right.
the depth of a 5-gallon, but kale doesn't have deep roots.
Well, I
Okay.
didn't want that ugly 5-gallon bucket in my house.
Neither did we, honestly. not sitting there for 3 or 4 months.
Right.
And
Like-
he said 5 gallons or less.
yeah, and that's less.
So-
but-
Yeah, and it was kind of nice how he outlined it. It's like it has to hold 5 gallons. It doesn't have to be a 5-gallon, round
Yeah.
bucket. that
right.
We got at the hardware store.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, I'm still searching for what we're going to use
I want
for
to do
that.
the under the bed things. Sterilite.
Huh?
Go ahead and read it.
Yeah, so we have storage under the
Producer in the background.
So she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, you guys cracked me up.
She's killing me.
I had a question and I can't even remember.
Ever so slowly, she's killing me.
Okay. Well,
Killing him softly.
since you have center stage right now, JJ, how about you guys at Big Valley Living?
Other than it's a death by 1,000 cuts.
Tiny cuts, little, like with the push pin cuts.
Oh wow! New
No,
acupuncture.
actually, today we actually saw this orb in the sky that actually put light out that we could actually see things.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, so there will be some videos being put together this weekend. So outside, actually, believe that or not.
Cool.
So we'll be doing blueberries, putting those into the ground. We also did a little bit of testing for a couple of collabs that are coming up,
Mhm.
and so we had some really awesome chili, in my opinion. That's going to be our new that's going to be our new chili recipe because it is super good. And the instant pot with Chris, we're going to do.
Stroganoff.
You're like so distracting over there. Just saying, I may need to. You need to go out to the front room and we'll close the door, and you can.
I can go to my office.
I'm just kidding. We're gonna do beef stroganoff in the instant pot for Chris's collab.
Cool.
So
And
we've been
that's
testing those things
February
out.
also, right?
It's February 5th, and then the chili is on the 8th for us.
Who's doing that chili collab?
I don't know. I think
I don't
not
know.
for nothing Homestead.
Well, what?
That guy up there is too.
That
Tony.
There you are.
I wish your head was a little closer. It would look like I'm pushing. Yeah, there you go.
Brady feeling to that.
Tony could be like one of those little gopher things where you just
Yeah.
pop
Oh,
them little gopher
whack-a-mole.
webs.
Whack-a-ginger.
Ooh, whack-a-moles.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Whoa.
So just throwing it out since Michelle went there, the Chili Smackdown is being hosted by Not for Nothing Homestead and Kettle Kitchen
That's right.
in the month of February. So
Yes.
Yes.
And we are smack
The-
dab full to the brim, overfilling.
yes.
Nice.
So,
and thanks for inviting us, by the
Oh,
way.
you're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone's very
part
welcome.
Of it's part of the bringing communities together, right?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
And we have
Let's all connect hands and say.
Oh, whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole.
Gosh, Tony. There we go.
so it's
There you go.
rating videos or anything, but those are coming, and a few other different videos. But this weekend I have blueberries I have to get into the ground, so there will be a video. So they've been out
That'll be fun.
in the shop waiting for it to stop raining here.
Yeah.
Said no one in California ever.
Said no one in California in the last 5 years.
Right.
I seen a reel, I think it was today or yesterday, and a flight attendant's on it, and he's talking over, and he must be coming into Las Vegas, Nevada. And he says, well, we're having to reroute because the whatever team it is, I don't know the team, the stadium has been turned into a tornado shelter for the next 36 hours. And I was like, wow. And then he goes, they're doing it that way because evidently nothing's ever touched down there before. And I'm like,
Oh wow. Okay.
That doesn't work
Well,
like
I mean,
that.
that's a great idea.
what?
That doesn't work like that, actually.
I was like, okay, I found no humor in that. And I hope
Like whoever
nobody
made
else-
that decision should be the next president.
There's never been a tornado there.
That is brilliant.
Yes.
But you're missing the point. Touchdown in the stadium is what he
Right.
was.
Oh,
referring to.
touchdown. Ow.
He was making a funny and it didn't go over.
It
very
didn't
not
go
funny.
well.
Doesn't
Yeah.
sound like it. It sounds like it was way too drawn out and then had to be explained. So
Yeah.
Right.
it's not
People are
funny
going,
anymore.
"Oh,
I mean, those are always the best jokes, aren't they?
my." What was that, JJ?
If you have to explain a joke, it's not a good joke. That's
It's
it.
not worth
No,
it. No, I agree.
exactly.
Sorry.
So there's
I tried.
3 guys that walk into a bar, right?
Oh, I should.
No.
I'm joking.
Tony, Daniel, and JJ.
Ah, you're funny.
Oh.
Right. This is going somewhere bad with these three.
So
Yeah.
are you done, JJ, or did I? Yeah, did I cut you off, or did you finish up where you were at there?
No, I'm all done.
All right. So I'm gonna move over.
Did
to
you check with
Miss-
Michelle to make sure?
Oh no.
Because if
moving
not, she's
over
going to
to
be
Blue.
screaming from the sideline.
I know.
Miss Blue, how about you and your channel?
Well, I've just spent the last week rearranging my house
Yep.
because
But you
when we-
you've been doing lives. I know
I
that.
have been doing lives. Ginger and I have started a new live series.
Yep.
Where every second week it's on Ginger's channel and every other week it's on my channel, and it's our crafty chat. So
Yes.
We may or may not be doing craft depending on how organized either one of us are. I'm just saying probably me. You know, but it's where we get to hang out, have fun, and talk crafty things. And if anyone needs any help with anything, they can ask us questions. We're more than happy to, you know, do that. Yeah, have we got plans for it?
Do you feel like you're moving in the direction you want your channel to go to?
Yeah.
Go in, I guess is the best.
Yeah, I also started series 2 of my budgeting lives this week.
Uh-huh.
And I'm
Michelle's beating the crap out of JJ.
Yeah.
Backstage.
Comes back, the shirt is torn open. It's like nothing.
I'm okay, guys. Really, don't call 911.
All right.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I'm basing it around urban homesteading. I know most of everybody here has like property and what have you, but there's a lot of us who are homesteading or trying to in an urban setting, and I'm trying to work, you know, aim it around that and theme it better this year. yeah, so that's going in that direction. I yesterday on purpose, because one of the major things over here at the moment is people are scared to spend anything. They're absolutely terrified to spend anything, especially if it means, you know, it's going to be a few months before you see anything back from it. So like if they're starting to grow things, or if they're having to put out for jars or whatever kind of equipment they may need to start doing their stuff from scratch or preserving or whatever, they're terrified of spending any money. What I wanted to do was start off by showing ways that they can actually earn a little bit of that back, and where urban homesteading can actually over time actually pay for itself. So that's what I did yesterday. There is other stuff coming, because now you can actually see where I'm filming. Because we've moved the dresser. The dresser was used as basically a room splitter, and unfortunately it split the room so well that it was like it was midnight in that area that I was filming in all the time. So yeah, we've completely moved it around. So yeah, things are going. We're also doing a collaboration that's going to last for most of the year, with myself and Steve from Digwell Greenfingers on growing in small spaces. So again, along with the whole urban homesteading thing, even though we've got people who don't have urban homesteads, they're going to be showcasing a very small section on their property that they're going to be featuring over the next year. But it's not about necessarily what they're planting, it's about the logistics of growing in small spaces. So
I got a theme song for you.
What?
I got friends in small spaces.
I like it. I like it. Can you name that tune?
I got
What
friends
you got,
in small
Nate?
spaces.
Through the tulips. Mouth.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so there's stuff like that happening. But yeah, it is going that way. It's just it takes me a while to get myself organized. But yeah.
Good question, doctors. I like that. Thank you. Tina, how about you? What is Southern Heritage Cooking up to these days?
Well, check this out. I plugged in my camera and charged the batteries.
She's on a roll.
I know, right? I'm congratulating myself for that. And so we're filming several things tomorrow.
Oh,
awesome.
good.
We thought we were going to do some tonight, but I ain't got the right patience for it.
Your schnizzle fizzled.
My give a damn is busted.
Yeah. There you go. I love it.
So there's that.
And you can say give a damn all you want to, because as of February 1st, damn is one of the acceptable curse words. So go ahead.
Oh, is it?
Oh, well, I'm going to be.
You're going to have to send me the list of the other ones. I'm just
There's
saying.
only two that are acceptable: hell and damn. All other curse words could get a video demonetized.
Well,
Oh
damn
my.
Yeah, damn that.
Damn, isn't that? Who
But
the
is that
hell
the
came up with that
ones, or
idea?
is that
What was that? Sorry.
Is that the family friendly rules, or is that plus 18?
That's all channels. And here's the part that really sucks for all content creators. This is YouTube's way of getting some money back.
For what?
When that date hits around, they're going back to all of your past videos.
Wow, and demonetizing?
They are demonetizing them. Yes. This is the problem that some of the channels are having. We followed the big corporations. We did what you said at the time. Now you're changing the rules, and you're going to apply those new rules to past videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
That just doesn't sound fair.
I heard it tonight, so I wanted to pass it along to you guys, and that came from YouTube themselves. That was not something I just randomly heard somewhere. Right. So be aware of it. Yep.
So there's that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're going to have to start showing up and just show our beautiful faces, not really see anything, and then say, later.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
Tina, is that your cameraman back there?
I'm gonna take that as a no.
You can take that as a no. No.
yeah.
He's
No.
not for it. No.
No, I think
I-
He said, I don't volunteer as tribute.
well, yeah,
I'm not really good at technology, so
that is the biggest lie I have heard all day.
Are you kidding? You're like under 40. You know everything
Exactly.
about technology.
So I think I'm going to make him a sous chef tomorrow.
That works.
Ooh.
So we're gonna do the whole chili collaboration thing tomorrow.
Nice.
We're doing that,
He's
and
celebrating. Let's go.
I'm just trying to plan stuff, but because I can only do it on the weekends
Yeah, because I got to work on Monday.
because I leave so early in the morning that I don't even want to see people until I get
Not
to
even
work,
playing
and
along.
that's kind of iffy
She's
too.
not paying attention.
And once I get there,
Nope.
I had to go
it's
back
like
and-
when I pull into the parking lot, it's like, oh shit, it didn't go down. I have to go in.
Oh, darn it.
Is shite on the list?
I was just gonna say, I wonder if shite's on the
There's
list, but
shite's on the list.
That might be
We'll
our
find out.
so the terminology they use, just to throw it out there, and actually I want to let Tina finish before I jump back into this again. So if you're not done, please continue.
So just planning my videos for the weekends because I really do not have time during the week. By the time I'm so sick of going to work in the dark and coming home in the dark.
And I
Yeah.
It gets old. It gets old. I feel like a
Welcome to the armpit of Canada.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough doing that.
and I'm like trying to do my best to.
And then my brain is just, by the time I end up walking out of there, it's done. It's done. So
Yep.
there's that. And then
we're going to Spokane Chiefs game. That's
Ooh,
that
have
has to
fun.
do with anything.
He's looking forward to the fun part of the day.
I know. And I thought I'd do a few videos on the livestock that we're keeping around here. I've got all my goats, or all of them. There's not one single goat that buck has not gotten. So I can't even imagine what's coming out in the spring. And my chickens started laying. So they're laying eggs. And when I go up there, it's like the coop needs cleaned out. And it's like, well, where do I put it? Because we don't have any bare ground because of the snow. We still have it. We have berms that are taller than me. And I thought, well, dang. And then I started thinking about it. It's like, how the heck long do you actually cure chicken manure anyways? So I have to do my research on that one too.
Wait, how long do you cure chicken manure?
Yeah.
Before I can use
Or
it.
you can plant.
It takes 3 to
year.
6 months for
Yeah, we
it
usually
to
do 6
for it to
months.
cure. Where the level is down. I think it's what the nitrate level or whatever is
Yeah.
high. It's hot. It's a hot manure.
Yeah.
But if you just let it, if you dump it and let it sit in 3 to 6 months, it's ready. It might not look like it's broken down, like it's organic matter totally, but it's still safe to use. It won't burn plants.
So do I
I
turn
wouldn't.
it, like flip it
I
with
don't
a
turn it. I never turn mine. I just dump mine in the corner of my garden and I just pile it up, and it just composts like it's gonna compost. The heat will generate inside from the inside out, and it'll break down.
Cool. So
The general rule of thumb over here is 12 months for hot manures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've
Just to
had
be safe.
a lot of different
Just to be
gardeners and a
safe.
lot of allotmenteers that have done that whole 3 to 6 month thing and lost all their crops.
Yeah,
From
we
there.
don't. We get zucchinis that are like
So,
8 feet long
Yeah,
from
I
it,
think
not
it-
burned.
it's better to be safe than
I wonder
sorry.
if it's because of the
True.
heat in Texas.
It could
and
be
I was
because
gonna
we're
say-
real hot.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of us don't have that.
Right.
So-
Right.
I can send you some manure. I
Oh,
got
right, come on down.
We'll take it.
We got
We'll take
room.
it. Put it in an envelope.
I'll send you some pig
I
shite
wanna-
back.
I want to. I know they've been in here.
I'll send you
Yeah.
And then what else?
I know they've been.
Oh,
Hold on just a second, Tina. I know they've been in here a while. Annette from Annie's Kitchen and Urban Homestead, and Cindy Brown, thank you for coming in. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And then when I went to college, I actually have 2 degrees and I minored in writing. So I have written 2 children's books that are published. And so I kind of want to do a little bit more of that this year.
Yay!
Not that I have any time for that, but I've got a lot of great ideas, you know.
Yeah.
And there's just that, and just kind of building the channel with my weekend videos. I mean, that's really all I can do. I have even neglected my Facebook page. I've neglected it too. People are sending me private messages, you know, where are you? We're waiting for you to come back. And it's like, I'm never coming back. No, I didn't say that.
So from what I heard earlier, please don't start writing the other children's book today.
Yeah, today's not a good day.
Not a good day.
Right.
Not
Right.
today.
Good point, JJ.
Yeah, they'll have to file that one in the
Yeah.
devil children. So just that, basically that started the new job on Tuesday. So far so good. It's pretty fun.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you. So that's been pretty fun. There's just, and today it was all setting my budget for 2023 for all the departments, and then meeting with all the department heads to give me what, you know, just kind of what their idea, their take on their budget is. And then I don't know about Janet, but let me tell you, people have a whole different idea about what budget looks like to me than it looks like to them. And so, and I'm the one that has to make the budget. And so there was arguments, you know, it's like, well, how am I going to stay within my budget? Well, that's a you problem.
Yeah, that's a you problem, guys.
Yeah.
Here's your number.
Yeah.
Divide that by 12 and figure it out. That was every year.
So guess what, buddy? You get $10.
That's why it's called a budget.
Problem, and your budget still is $10. So you figure that out.
I tell you what, Tina, one year I pulled out the definition of what Webster said for budget.
Did you?
Read it.
Oh my God.
They were all sitting there like.
This is what I ran in today with one single person. I was so frustrated by the time I left, I just wanted to lop his head off. He was trying to tell me that when he orders for a room turn, when he orders like a lamp or something like that, he's putting it in a CapEx account. It doesn't go there. It goes under minor equipment.
Right. It's not over $500 for a single expenditure.
Yeah. And I asked him, I said, so how do you know when your budget is capped out? How do you know that if you're not running your budget and putting that in so you know where you're at every single month? He goes, no joke, no shit. Honestly, he said, when my order gets declined, then I know I don't have any money. And I
was gonna say that.
My first thought when he said that to me was like, you are so fired. You are
my first thought would have been like, who in the heck hired you?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So didn't even teach you.
No more stuff.
Right. We can say hell.
Yeah, it was just it was really intense because I had my budgets completed and I was handing them out.
Cindy Brown, did you see what she put?
That's what every manager's thinking in their head, Cindy.
Exactly.
What'd you say? I can't see.
WTF, are you kidding?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. I wish I was kidding.
Here, I'll put it up so you can see it. There you go.
I was not kidding. And then he decided that we needed to have an inventory with 2 or 3 things at a time. And I said, so do you have that inventory sheet? No, well, I know it's there, but yeah, I don't. Okay. That's the whole point here. So he walked out pretty ticked off at me. And I thought, well, I guess you're just going to get glad in the same shoes you got mad in. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty intense when you're doing the budgets, as you know, Janet. It's an intense time.
Yeah, it is.
To get those budgets set and to set them to PPD and stuff as well.
I think it's funny when you have people that think that they control the string purse, even though they have nothing to say about it other than submittal of budgets. When I was down at Spokane Community College, and I was just a student, and I was on the technology committee that decided where all their technology dollars were going to go. There was a proposal that was put out by the students because we got tired of these guys. For 2 weeks, we listened to them fight with administrators on where the money should go and what they should do. And we're like, we've been here for 2 weeks wasting our time listening to you guys argue back and forth. Here's our proposal, right? They didn't like it, obviously, because we didn't care where it ended up. It's everybody's got to get a piece of the pie. So here it is, It flabbergasted me.
I always told people, if you don't want to stay in budget, we just, don't have any money left to give raises this year.
Well, and yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong motivator when you throw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the next thing that they ask you after you give them their budget. Will there be raises this year? Well, I don't know now. That depends on you. And then they had, really just somebody else inputting all that information in the business office manager. Like, what are you doing?
There's Cindy's solution.
These are all department heads.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a you thing. If you can't manage your budget, then we need to be having a different conversation right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was frustrating and I was hungry. And the last one that I met with today on budget, seriously, I killed him about 10 times in my mind. Seriously, honest to God, bleeding out at my desk. I just didn't know it.
So earlier.
So I take it like this new job.
I actually do like the job. There's just there's
people involved.
Right. They don't understand the concept. They don't understand the concept of budget, because if we go over the budget, and they don't understand the oversight that the executive director has, they think that they can do the job, but they can't even do their budgets. And so there's so much more that we have oversight over, and they're going to call us on it and not them.
Yeah.
So they really don't understand that piece of it. Well, I've been doing this for a long time. Well, then you've been doing it wrong. So let's just correct that.
Better yet, maybe you've been doing it too long.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
that's a good one.
But when you have executive directors that set a precedence before you come in, and you have to right that ship, that makes it really hard. It makes it hard on the new ED, and it makes it hard actually on them too, because they don't know what to expect, because now all of a sudden they've got an ED in there that, there is that accountability piece, and they had somebody else doing their budgets, putting all of their stuff in and running their CapEx accounts and stuff. So the department head wasn't even doing it, because he had somebody, you're going to have to go talk to Connor. No, I'm not. I'm going to talk to you because you're the department head.
That's the way this rolls.
Yeah. And so I felt like I had to be a little bit more pissy than I normally was today, because I kind of like to pride myself on my natural charm. And they were pushing my buttons.
I love it. Earlier, Daniel put out a question in chat as far as what were some of the chat inhabitants' goals for 2023. And I did see that Annette, I'm going to go off of what Michelle put, because I can't see I can't see Annette's now. No, maybe I can't see hers either.
Was about writing a cookbook
about
the stuff that she grows, and about the stories behind the food as well. Okay, so and there's actually 2 ways you can do that. You can either self-publish, which doesn't cost you anything. You just got to put the stuff up, and they do all the rest for you. Or you can set up a blog. and start writing that stuff now as a blog post with all your recipes and stuff. And then when you're ready to do the book, you can put it together because you've got all these blog posts that you've done.
Right.
You know, and that's the basis of your book.
Somebody's kiddos are playing.
But yeah.
Someone's getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Hit that nicotine, Morty. Hit it.
The other thing was Janet Homestead, where you are, she said learn to cook more from scratch. Well, you're in a great place. You got a lot of resources right here.
Yeah.
So ask away. That's what I would say. Real quick, Ginger, I haven't forgot about you yet, but I do want to hit up on the terminology. So the way that they're wording it is that the words hell and damn are no longer considered curse words. All other curse words are going to be considered same level, same infraction, same process. They will demonetize the videos if they find it in there, because what used to happen
be an issue
was you
for
could do it.
Aussies.
It's going to be an issue for a lot of people.
Okay, because it is law over there that no one can get. You can't. It used to be that if someone swore at you, you could take them to court and sue them for it because you were offended.
Even bloody hell? I mean, I feel like bloody hell is pretty big over there.
Ladies who go, you know, with a cactus, basically. You know, so, but she took her to court, and the High Court of Australia said that language is actually part of local colloquialism. It's part of the everyday language of Australia. So therefore it is no longer, and he made a list of the words that are no longer considered swearing. They are part of local colloquialism. And some of the words, other people go, ooh, you can't say that. Well, yeah, we can.
We can now.
Yeah, I mean, I just wonder how the rationale in their mind decided.
They might want to be a little bit careful with that because there will be certain countries that will kick back heavily because it is legal and part of the law that is local colloquialism.
Interesting.
So, yeah, they might want to be a bit careful with that.
Well, they're a private company, right? So they can set any mandates that they want.
Yes and no, but it's an international company and they have a headquarters in Australia and they have several thousand channels. Several of them are quite big from there and they earn quite a lot of money from them. So they may not want to, especially when it is actually law in that country. So they might want to be a little careful.
Anyways, I wanted you all to know they're treating all of it, because what used to happen, and the person talking about it said it, people would wait till about 30 seconds into a video and then they just let things go.
Yeah.
The way they've changed it now is and there's a discrepancy on the number, but I guess it doesn't really matter because there's only 1 second difference. I heard 8 seconds. The person talking today says it says 7 seconds. So I'm not sure. But then it goes on to say, or throughout the video. So it's no longer, you can't play a time game like you used to. Now it's through the entire process and it's at their discretion.
So
saying you could be demonetized.
Oh, for the music thing?
No, for the swearing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For the swearing.
You know, you can't cuss in public in our country.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It's actually illegal to cuss in public here.
Yeah, so Michelle's grandmother, she used to say stuff like shoe polish or shut the front door or all of those kind of things, right? So apparently that's going to become the in vogue thing to do.
Right. You come up with
so we're getting it's going to be going back to daggum.
Daggum it.
Daggum.
That's right.
Daggum. I feel like I've been good shot.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, Miss Ginger, who has patiently waited her turn. How about Not For Nothing Homestead?
First, I want to put out Cindy Brown's 2023 goals, personal. She said, I am making self-care more of a priority.
Good
I
for
think
you.
everybody should take time for themselves.
Exactly.
If it's away from YouTube, if it's away from housework, if it's away from yard work, whatever, you need some downtime, something to just do for yourself. So kudos to you, Cindy Brown.
Mhm.
Let's see, 2023 goals. Well, next week we're going to knock one of them out, which is start doing more lives. In 2 weeks, yes, yay!
Oh,
In
sorry.
2 weeks, we're going to knock the other one out, which is host a collab or co-host a collab. So that's going to be number 2. I can't remember if I had any. I didn't really make any goals this
Right.
year. I just kind of decided we had such a crazy Christmas as far as the weather. It just really put us in a tailspin. So we have been struggling to get back to where we were before the Christmas freeze broke half our stuff.
Yep.
But we do want to add some animals to the homestead. We've never had chickens before. So I want to add chickens because I just paid $7.82 for an 18 count carton of eggs. So that's a dozen and a half eggs of almost $8 for. And
we'll discuss that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, it's not going to cost much less when you have your own.
I know it does get feeding them and everything does get expensive.
Feed has significantly gone up.
Feed's gone up. Yeah.
Feed has gone up a lot.
Yeah.
When you buy for your chickens, do you buy it by the ton?
No.
No, just the bag, 50-pound bags.
Just 50-pound bags.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too bad you're not up here because we buy a ton for about $380, and it's non-GMO. And
we could, but we don't have the equipment to be able to, get that ton off the back of the truck, and we don't. So that would be too.
Yeah, this last year we bought a ton of grain, and we picked what was in there, what I wanted my animals to have.
Right.
And then we, and it was non-GMO. Yeah. And so I know you don't believe in that, but that's okay.
No, that's all right. We pay about double. I did the math real quick. So yeah, we're paying about double that. Yeah.
Did you find that it stayed though? And there was none of those weevils or any of that? Because we have about 75 chickens now, and I've got an incubator full of babies that are going to hatch in a couple of weeks, but I don't even know how quickly we could go through a ton with close to 100 chickens.
Yeah, well, but I feed my goats that grain.
Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah.
So I feed them, and then we went and bought the ton of grain, and then we bought 5 tons of alfalfa.
Yeah.
So we've got it under tarps, and I think between the two, I think we ended up paying about $1,600 for hay to bring in to make sure we got through the winter and through the spring in case somebody decided that they were going to try and rape us again this year on hay.
Mm-hmm.
Like we did last year because it was bad. And what you were paying for hay, the quality of it was just horrible.
I heard that from a lot of people. The hay quality this year just was not what it.
We had a big drought down here in Texas, so
Right.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is that people that didn't even bale started baling.
Yeah.
Just because we have a lot of open fields here, so a lot of people were jumping in and baling.
Probably getting more money for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Ginger, were you finished with what you were saying?
You getting chickens?
Okay.
And then right before the snow flew, we went and planted one of our whole pastures with clover.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Because it'll take care of my bees because I have beehives. Mm-hmm. And it'll also feed the goats too.
Yeah, and pigs love clover too.
Yeah.
You can run some piggies in that field.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move into Kettle Kitchen because we have another conversation to have after this. So,
all right.
I am happy and ecstatic and enthusiastic about the yet to come in the next week or two because I have officially, thanks to Ginger and Joey, moved into pressure canning. I'm now moving into my third thing I've pressure canned since the start of the year. So that was a big step. That was a big hurdle I hadn't gotten over yet. And I'm so happy to be over that. And tomorrow I'm canning turkey broth for the first time. So we'll see.
That turkey broth looks good. I mean, honestly, I saw it today. It looks very rich.
It tastes wonderful. I'm here to tell you.
Better than anything you could ever buy.
Yes.
Ginger's the one that helped me. I was totally thinking I couldn't can meat.
She was, yeah.
Because everybody's always add salt, and I can't add salt to my diet.
Add it, right?
I mean, I've been going crazy canning meat now.
I get the point of why people do add salt in the U.S. because the way that Blue does it is theoretically totally different. I mean, she can correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry. But I think I look at it as, and it doesn't matter whether it's meat, protein. I haven't even canned yet, so I'm clueless. In experience, I'm clueless. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's just like anything else. I can add the salt later if it's for a flavor issue.
Right.
If it's preservation, that's a whole different conversation we're having. But if it's for flavor, I can do that later. And
I just assumed it was for preservation. So I was like, well, I guess I can't do meats. And then Ginger told me it wasn't. So you're doing turkey. I did beef broth this week. I pressure canned a bunch of beef broth.
Yeah. That is awesome. Oh my gosh. I have some venison bones that I'm going to do some beef broth with pretty soon.
And that's what I had some beef bones from a cow that we got like 2 years ago at the back of the freezer. I pulled them out and I'm like, man, that's a lot of beef bones. I need to make some broth out of this.
Yeah. Blue, what were you going to say?
The thing with using salt for preservation, either it's part of a brine where you're curing the meat for maybe a week or so, or you are completely covering it in the salt.
Right. It's not a teaspoon or a tablespoon or whatever. No,
it's not necessary in jarring at all, whether it's pressure canned or water bathed or hot packed or whatever way you're doing it's not necessary, because it isn't part of the preservation part of it at all, because at the amount that you put in that jar, it's not doing anything.
Right.
Apart from just adding salt to the jar.
Well, and the other thing that goes along with that is that, at least for USDA book, I can't speak for Ball or anything, that almost, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ginger, or anybody else that might know, anytime I've seen salt be added in that book, it's always said optional. It never says required.
Typically says to taste.
To taste or optional, yes. I've seen them both.
So it's just being used as a seasoning. It's not actually being used as a preservation thing.
Right.
Yeah, I think because salt is such a popular seasoning over here, that's the reason. And pepper doesn't fare well during canning. I don't think. It kind of has a bad taste when it comes out on the other end. So, but
I think it depends on what you're talking about, though, because in some things it does add flavor, and some things it makes it rancid, I guess would be the better way to put it, almost.
It just doesn't taste the same, so as you would think pepper would taste. But yes, Blue, the salt is definitely, it's just for flavor, and it's just because we're so prone to throw salt on everything.
Yeah.
I agree.
So the other thing is, can't wait until the 2 collaborations start. Woohoo!
We were all wore out come the end of December, and now we're all like, we got that itch again. When is the next collaboration coming?
Excuse me. So that's where we're at. We seem to be. Excuse me.
Oh, did you see Cindy Brown's comment?
Yeah. I'd agree with that. If you are going to like pressure can or water bath anything that's got herbs or spices in it, use the whole thing. Don't use dried and ground, because it does go very funky.
I have never
Not
tried
Yep.
whole peppercorns.
Hello, Feather Friends
Yeah.
Homestead.
Oh well,
Their
maybe
friend's homestead. Fantastic.
maybe no, I don't think I have. I was gonna say like pickled things and things like that, but I
Yeah.
don't think I've used
Yes.
whole pepper. I'm gonna have to try that, Cindy. Thank you very much
I
for
do.
that. I do like pepper, but I usually wait and put it on when it comes out of the jar.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I know when
I
I
do in
when I do broth, I just put the whole peppercorns in the broth when I make it,
Yeah.
and then it
Yeah.
drains out. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
the only thing
strained that out.
the
That's
only
one of
thing
the
I
things
add
that's strained.
the only thing I add later is garlic because I don't want that icky garlic taste to come through. So I wait till I have waited. I'm not an expert. I waited till the last hour of it doing what I wanted it to do, and then I added the garlic, and it tastes fine. It tastes great. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
what are you laughing at, Blue?
Well, Tina's playing. She's in her
In the
TARDIS.
background.
And she's going from room to room in her TARDIS.
I seen that.
In her TARDIS. Maybe she'll have a sonic
Okay.
screwdriver soon.
I know we
I know.
went in Malibu to a Texas country ranch. I was kind of getting lost there.
I wanted to jump in and play the piano. That's what I'd been waiting for. So here's the other conversation, which was the topic listed in the description. Prices and the changes we're seeing associated to the
Yeah.
prices. We haven't talked prices in a while. We haven't. And I'm not looking for anybody to have done homework. I'm just asking in general, are there things that you've noticed that are changing? But
Yeah.
before we go into that, I want to give you a little tidbit of information. Me and Ginger had a conversation with a dear friend of all of ours today, and I'm not going to say who it is or where they work or none of that. But that individual informed us prices are going to go up, and strategically, the corporations are plotting out how they're doing it.
Yep.
One specific place is taking departments, and every 6 weeks they're increasing their prices $2. This is their plan for the next
Wow.
months.
That's corporate greed.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
So this one location now has I think it was Tylenol 50 count for almost $14 now.
Wow.
Out of their minds.
Yes.
Wow.
So and what they're doing is they're targeting non-food items because everybody's concentrating on the foods, and hopefully you won't notice it in the other
Sneak
things.
the other prices in.
The other prices in,
Sneak
yes.
in, yeah.
But she specifically said over the last 2 weeks she has increased one department specifically twice $2 each time.
Wow.
Jesus.
Anyways, so moving on that thought process, I'm just going to go around in a circle and we'll start with Blue. What have you noticed for prices and changes and things like that?
Okay, well, we've just been informed that inflation is going up this year to actually at the end of this month, which is in a week's time, to 18.6%.
Wow.
Oh my God.
From 11%. Now, a lot of people think that it's the government that actually places what inflation is. It's not, it's the banks. The banks decide. The banks own the corporations, and they do all of that stuff, and they decide what inflation is going to be. It's got nothing to do with wages. It's got nothing to do with people being on strike. It's got nothing to do with wars. It's got nothing to do with any of that. It's all got to do with greed and what they can get in their pocket and what they can bleed off other people.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the bottom line of it all.
Yep.
And over here, what we used to be able to buy as basics is what is being hit the hardest. So your raw ingredients, your basic dry pantry stores like white rice, pasta, bread, your basic ingredients, not your fancy packets and stuff like that. They are all going up like more expensive than the packet stuff from the fancy corporations. So a packet of white rice is now costing more than a packet of Uncle Ben's.
Wow.
I won't buy the Uncle Ben's because we don't have a microwave. We won't have one in the house because they are filthy things. So, they they don't even exist in my house. So there's no way that I'm going to go and buy boil in the bag stuff to actually cook plastic through my food anyway. It's not going to happen. So buying rice at the moment, it used to be cheaper to buy it in the individual basics range packets, just the plain white rice. Now they're only putting one little box of that out every 2 days in the supermarket. It's now £1.50. 18 months ago, it was 32p.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure quite, how they do their maths, but I'm sure as hell that is not 11% rise. Even if you take into account all the chain along the way, that is still not 11% plus 11% plus 11% plus 11%. That is not it.
Right.
That is just going, people need this. We're going to whack the price up.
Yep.
That's the bottom line. It's the same with
Right.
the eggs over here. Farmers are withholding the eggs because the supermarkets have raised the price by 50p a dozen, which is a lot of money over here, especially for those who are only earning £70 a week.
Right.
So, and over Christmas, they raised it by another 70p for a dozen. Farmers are not getting any of it. So they're withholding eggs. So the supermarkets are putting out there that it's actually the avian flu and it's not. And the farmers have actually put videos out saying it's not. Here's the eggs. Hello.
Good for them.
Yep.
Good for them.
So,
Tell the truth about it.
So they're telling the truth about it, and the supermarkets aren't getting away with it quite as much as they are. But there is rationing on eggs over here in certain supermarkets where you can only buy 2 half-dozen boxes per customer. And that's all they're selling is the half-dozen boxes. And that's
about time to go find me some kids on the street corner paying $5 to come in with me and get my eggs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Continue.
But that's pretty much what's happening over here. And what is not going up in price are frozen, ready-made junk foods.
Of course not. Most unhealthiest things.
That stuff is so cheap, it's not even funny.
Yeah. And ready meals, because over here we have 4 aisles in most supermarkets of ready meals, fresh ready meals, everything that you can think of, from lasagna to salads and back again. No, they're not going up in price. It's all the basic ingredients, the basic necessities that are being hit the hardest.
Right. Boy,
So,
you're just
and it's revolting. It's absolutely
you're just
revolting.
a bump of great information. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're just a ray of sunshine.
Yes.
Well, I try.
So speaking of rays of sunshine, JJ, how is it down in California?
It's really funny. I was watching this. I think it was on the news actually, where they're busting people for smuggling eggs in from Mexico.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, are you kidding me? Come on now.
Well, that is California. I hate to say. I remember we went out of California and back
we left
in,
California,
and we were in an
Yeah, we
RV,
did,
and
yeah.
they're just like, "We are going to board your RV. You need to
Yeah,
let us know if you have
inspecting
any
everything.
fruit."
Yeah.
It's like they
Well,
don't
that's
mess around.
the agricultural station coming into the state. But
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we were coming in from Reno.
yeah, I'm like, really?
We're going to confiscate that apple if you don't have a receipt, a Cali receipt for it.
Yes.
I don't know. They do what they do. But
in Washington, I always think it's funny because I going through California, you go through the agricultural station, right? Well, we have the same issue up here in Washington, but we just have signs. We don't have a man posted there with a gun saying you can't go any further with no fruit. I don't get it.
yeah, we call it the bug station. But I mean, I guess you're producing half of the food for the nation. Probably want to make sure that bugs don't get in there. But anyway, so Michelle was saying that the price of cauliflower and such actually has gone down a little bit, which is crazy.
Oh, that's different.
And I heard that somebody was paying like $10.99 a dozen for eggs. And I'm like, yeah, well, we'll stop eating eggs. So it depends on it's actually making it more affordable to go to the farmers market here in California because we have them once a week. Right. And or, in different locations, you can go to one pretty much every day. But it's making those more affordable because I've noticed that their prices haven't really changed. If they've gone up, it's been minimal, and you're getting it fresh from, the farmer that grew it.
Right.
So that's really all that we really even get out for. We don't go to the grocery store all that often. We just don't have a need to.
Right.
But that's all I.
Oh, now I get it. Now it makes sense. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's all I got.
Janet said she hates this place, and I couldn't figure out which place. I thought she was talking about our chat, and I was like, she's talking about California. She hates California.
Right, California.
Place hate politics.
Yeah, got it.
Oh, can I just add one more thing? I promise to be good. Okay, so the other thing that I've noticed is they're dropping the sizes of the packets and the stuff, and still upping the price.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So where you might have been able to get 5 packets of kilo bags of frozen veg for $5, or 5 kilo bags of soft fruits for $5, they're now 3, 4, 6, and the packets are 750 grams.
Oh wow.
And pay attention to the size they're selling you.
To the what?
Pay attention to the size of what they're selling. It's not 16 ounce, it's 14.2 or 13.5 or whatever.
All right. So I need to run and use the restroom real quick. Blue, will you moderate for me? But we're going to go ahead and jump down to Ginger and let her go next. I'll be right back.
I noticed the eggs, a dozen and a half, $7.82, almost $8. They weren't that a month ago. In December, I can remember paying a lot less. I don't remember what I paid, but I know I didn't pay that much. The funny thing is that I think is not funny, ha-ha, it's just funny weird, is that broth, like chicken broth, has not gone up, and rotisserie chickens, fresh from the deli, they haven't gone up.
Yeah.
But the price of eggs is astronomical, and it is ridiculous. I also have noticed that, like Wesson oil, that price has gone up. So those are the things that I've noticed.
Yeah. Okay. Are you done? Are you done? Okay, Miss Betty. You know?
Yep, those are the only two things that I've really noticed a large jump in. And I'm not sure what the thing is with the gas going up and down and up and down and up and down, but it's fluctuating like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I almost fell out of my chair going to, Smart and Final here. I don't know what you have there, but just a normal size of like Crisco, it's like $20. I'm like, that used to be like $6.
Mm-hmm.
That's
insane.
Yeah, well, see, gas and energy prices over here. It's just been announced they're going to be nearly $6,000 for the year. We've got probably 10 million families living on $7,000 a year.
Wow!
So you can imagine what that's going to do to them. So yeah, I get it. It's horrific. Okay, so Miss Tina.
Yes.
What you noticed?
Well, I noticed a lot because on my way home, while I was really super grumpy, I stopped at the Winco.
Oh, now there's a time
Yeah.
to see the changes in prices.
I wish it a Winco because I had to top this day off just perfect. Going after my $5 challenge. That was pretty tough, let me tell you. But I had some coupons, and so I ended up coming out of there pretty good. But while I was there, I was roaming around. So one of the things that I'm seeing in the grocery store, and it's because I don't buy it, so I don't know if it's gone up or if that's what it is or whatever, is the meat. The meat is, my God, you have to finance hamburger.
Yeah.
It's insane. And we don't even eat that much burger, but if you were to buy a burger, ground beef or chicken or something like that, it's crazy. It's insane. And so I noticed as well that the convenience foods are very, very they're a lot cheaper than what our whole foods are. And I think they're trying to discourage us from preparing our own and stockpiling. Because that's what I think is happening, because a lot more people, I mean, like you said, they are cooking at home. They're not eating out because nobody can afford $30 to have a burger and a fry and a Coke.
No.
So I think that's how they are trying to combat that, is to make that convenience food more inexpensive and more accessible. So then we see the shortages in the dry beans and the dry rice and whole foods that we would cook ourselves. So
I'm having a hard time finding chicken right now. Again, we're back to the chicken issue again.
Well, Winco had chicken.
Okay, good.
They had chicken. So, on my $5 challenge, though, that was really tough when I went in there today. And
oh, you're not necessarily buying much chicken for $5.
I don't buy meat.
Right. You don't buy her meat there. So.
Right. I'm just saying it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, we raise our own meat. But I do buy the other stuff, and I've been doing this pantry thing long before it was the thing to be doing. And I have, 5-gallon buckets full of rice and beans and sugar, all of that stuff. But what I ended up getting tonight, which you should really go there, Tony.
Okay.
You better make a trip this week. Have you seen their lumberjack sausages links?
No.
Oh my God. Hang on. Let me go grab that for you.
Show and tell.
Because what I decided to do is like, all right, I'm tired of focusing on dinner because my favorite foods are breakfast foods. And it's not that I don't like dinner, but my favorite meal is breakfast.
Do like a nice breakfast for dinner.
Yeah, we do that sometimes. Breakfast for dinner.
Yeah, that happens on the weekend over here quite a lot.
No, nothing wrong with that. Food is sometimes food.
While we're waiting on her, how about you guys? What have you guys seen?
Well, and we've got kind of a reverse story on the eggs that's as interesting. Is all of a sudden we've got people that we don't know very well approaching us saying, hey, we want to go ahead and start buying your eggs. The eggs at the store are getting too expensive.
Right. As if ours are getting cheaper.
Right. We don't sell eggs. We don't have prices listed for eggs. They just assume we're going to sell them less than the grocery store. It's like, no. The cost of feeding the chickens has gone up. At the price it is now, you kind of break even. Like why do you assume I'm going to sell eggs to you for less than you're?
Because you're a chicken farmer, so you got to have a ton of them that you're trying to get rid of.
Right. Yeah.
Are these people you've sold eggs to before, or given eggs to?
We don't sell eggs.
We don't sell eggs. People are like, hey, can we buy your eggs? They're too expensive at the grocery store. I'm like, why am I going to sell you less than they cost at the grocery store?
Right.
Exactly.
When like we have, you have farm fresh eggs that were laid like
this is like today egg, and I'm going to sell it for less.
Blue chocolates. I mean, try to go find a green egg at the grocery store. They would charge you $8 for the single egg.
Or I wouldn't be eating it. One of the two.
Right.
So the sausage That is one thing that I don't have anymore of. It
I
is.
thought you were going to show me the sausage.
They're lumberjack. You see it?
It's
I
sausage.
see it now.
$2.99.
That's a good price.
Those look like they're as
That
big
is
as hot dogs.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
good.
that's what I
size.
thought.
And there's 17 of them in here. And I got
Wow,
them for $2.99. Yeah.
that's a good deal.
$2.99.
Yeah, that is a good deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, now you got my breakfast juices flowing. Thank
Oh
you very
yeah,
much.
little
Because I
potatoes
have-
there.
I paid $1 for this bag.
Oh, wow. That was great.
And then 50 cents a piece for juice.
That's a good deal.
And not
Mhm.
even an off brand. I
Oh.
spent $4.99 for breakfast because I have eggs. I don't have to buy them.
All right.
My husband.
You're not running up to the local farmer saying, "Will you please sell me your eggs?"
All right, give me
Right,
your
for
eggs.
less than the grocery store.
For nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have eggs, so I don't have to do that. And my husband, I was telling him tonight how many we got this week, and he goes, "Well, that makes them only worth about $25 a piece, the chickens." And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
what are you so grumpy about?
So, anything else from the two doctors?
Yeah, I mean, just and obviously we're all seeing the same stuff one way or the other, no matter where you're at. Is we found like just this, let's say this year, but 2022, just the cost of feed going up. So I mean, and I don't think people realize that when the cost of feed goes up, well, the cost of the food is going to go up too, right? If it costs me more to feed a chicken, it's going to cost you more to buy the eggs because I've got to, make my money back. So, I mean, we saw that last year. The cost of feed kept going up and going up. And I mean, we'll check. We'll probably go to the feed store maybe tomorrow or something.
Yeah, we need some food.
And yeah, I mean, that affects everything. Like we spend more money at the feed store than the grocery store.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just kind of how it is for us, whether we got the pigs or the chickens or whatever, we actually spend more money there than the grocery store.
You know what I noticed
But-
though at the grocery store is
Yeah.
frozen vegetables dropped in price.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, because like Walmart used to sell that bag of frozen veggies for $1,
Yeah.
and this past week now they dropped to 88 cents, all of them.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, they sure did.
I mean, and frozen veggies are better than canned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's like,
they are.
fresh, then frozen, and then canned. So you can
Right.
get probably 3 cans worth in that one bag for 88 cents, which
That's a
is
good deal.
it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking for broccoli. There was none left because everybody else was going for the broccoli.
Right. Yeah, you couldn't get it. It wasn't at the store, but the price was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just saw something that Cindy Brown wrote that the Beyond Meat prices are going down as well. Can I just say that stuff is revolting?
I was gonna say not even if it's free. They could go free and I still wouldn't be lining up for it.
What
No.
meat is
No, I mean, it may be because of what they sell over here. I don't know because we don't get a lot of Beyond Meat. Macca's has it, and I tried their McPlant burger.
It's a meat substitute, Tina.
I know what it is, and I've been following it for a very long time because I predominantly eat vegetarian anyway. But this burger literally was hollow on the inside.
Oh,
It split open and it was hollow on the inside and it just crusty on the outside. It's absolutely vile.
oh wow.
Absolutely vile. You can make so much better vegetarian burger type things if that's what you want by using whole foods yourself. No. No. Yeah. No. Don't do it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
I would never even entertain the idea. No.
Well, some people do because they are trying to cut down their meat consumption, either because it is getting so expensive, and vegetarian alternatives are there
Well, then you
to
cut back,
encourage people,
cut back
but
your consumption.
Well-
eat it 3 days a week, not 5 or 7 or whatever.
Right.
I eat
Exactly.
it every meal. I'm keto.
yeah.
Yeah, well, people over
Like-
here are just poor and they just don't have the money,
Right,
you know.
right.
So, you know, if they can get a veggie alternative that is a fifth of the price of the meat, then they're going to go for that because they
Right.
don't know yet. Because people over here have forgotten how to cook from scratch. I'll tell you that
Mhm.
now.
They
We've now
have it
got the
everywhere.
third generation of people who have not been taught how to cook in school or
No,
by
it's
their
not
parents.
only over there. It's not only over there. It's
Yeah, it's over here
So,
too.
you know,
Yeah.
the vegetarian alternatives are there to introduce them to stuff so that they can hopefully then be inspired to try it for themselves. So,
I can
you
tell
know,
you, I
but
think
it's also a fifth of the cost of meat. So why wouldn't you do it?
I think vegetarian cooking to make it taste good is so much more difficult than just throwing together a hamburger. I mean,
Yeah.
you got like if I want to make it like I think most people don't know how to make their own vegetarian burger. You know, they don't know how to keep it together and to make it actually stay as a burger. But I think most people can figure out to just buy the pre-made circle hamburger and
Yeah.
you know throw it on a grill at the store. Takes more skill, I think, to actually judge up
To make it.
veggies. Yeah.
It
Not
looks
really.
like Rhonda Towery was almost a grandma tonight, but it didn't
I
quite.
just saw
Oh.
that.
Yeah.
I was just typing back. Well, almost congratulations,
Yes.
Rhonda.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that I never ever dang, Rhonda just stole my thunder. Man, Rhonda, I'm telling you, girl, we are like the same brain. I had never had until like 10 years ago. Nobody had ever made me a black bean burger. They're absolutely phenomenal.
They're
Yeah.
good.
I would rather eat that. And I bought one pre-made from the store before I figured out after I got one. Then I was like, oh wow, I want another one. And I found some in the frozen food section. They're about like that alternative meat burger you were talking about, Blue. They're absolutely disgusting and they're horrible with no flavor. It's like eating black cardboard. So I started using my home canned black beans, and man, are they good!
It's a completely different animal, isn't it? Like I make a black bean burger that's got portobello mushroom through it as well.
Mm.
I actually was going to mention that at one time in a past conversation. Portobello mushrooms are not something to squawk at. They actually are a good
Ooh.
substitution for hamburgers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, so give it a consideration if you don't mind it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love mushrooms.
Yep, I do too.
JJ and Michelle love mushrooms too.
Oh, all 14 half pints of mushrooms.
So does anybody?
But I don't necessarily want to throw out a channel or anything, but we've watched Gaz Oakley or Gaz Oakley, and he's like totally plant based. He does some amazing things with vegetables. So I don't know if anyone's seen.
I don't have a problem with you throwing out a channel if it's going to help us understand things a little more. So
yeah, he does amazing things with vegetables for sure.
Good. So here's my shocker for the week. I know I didn't buy eggs last month because we had a carryover of eggs, and with the holidays we didn't use as many. We used some, but not as many. And eggs at Walmart, I believe, were $7.84. I went to go get eggs yesterday and that was a 5 dozen. I went to get 5 dozen yesterday, and it was $13.92 for the 5 dozen.
They were $9.99 when we went
Now,
shopping last week
granted,
for a dozen.
Wait, you're
and
saying
some people are saying, I mean,
dozen eggs, Tony? 5 dozen eggs? So 60 eggs were only $10?
2 months ago, they were $7.84, I think is what they were 2 months ago.
For 60 eggs?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cheap.
Yeah, that is like.
Dude, we're all moving
But
to
when
your
you-
house.
But now take into consideration 2 months later, they're double.
Mhm.
So
yeah,
our
there's 20
prices are
bucks for
coming up.
5 dozen here. It's like 19
Yeah.
something for
The
for
local
for
store
5
up
dozen.
here, that's not Walmart. It's just a small store. It's $21.95 for the same box.
Hmm.
Wow.
So
Uh,
good night, Cindy. Thanks for coming
yes.
in.
Right.
Rhonda says it's $5.99 a dozen there. So
Mhm.
you know, I mean, yeah,
That's
in
about what it
comparison,
is
I
here.
guess to our place, it
We have about
is cheaper than places, but when I look at what I spent 2 months ago, that's a big difference. So
Yeah. I never dreamed I'd
the
be
other,
paying $8 for almost $8 for 18 eggs.
Yeah, it's
Never
crazy.
in my wildest dreams. That's
and I said
just-
this last week, I went in to get cooking oil and it's now $8 a bottle.
yeah, that's
for how much?
32 ounces, I think is what it is.
Is that like a liter?
A liter ish. Yeah.
Okay, well,
ish.
what I would say the bottles that we normally get, they are, I would say, 5-liter bottles. And you used to be able to get 2 of those for £16. They were 32 when we had a look at them.
Wow.
32. It literally doubled. Okay, so the price of eggs here, and you guys are going to cry because I know that you guys, your prices are ridiculous, but yeah. Here at the moment, 6 eggs are £2.
Mm.
But that for us has literally doubled in price.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, our wages are a lot lower than you guys as well. So
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're looking at about 2, and it actually says here as well on the website that they're not selling certain packs. They're just registered on there because obviously it's part of their normal stock. Because they are restricting to 2 half-dozen boxes per household or per customer.
So when you 2 6-packs is what you're saying.
Yeah, 2 6-packs.
Well, I do know. I mean, they did. Avian flu was a thing. We even had it
last year, but it's not a thing this year.
No, we even had it. We had
it's
out
this year.
It's this year too in the United States. We had
in
outbreaks.
the
of
United
text.
States, it was an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, and the problem is when one person gets it in the flock, they call the whole flock.
Yeah.
We know someone that got hit.
Yeah, my neighbor's dad.
Yeah, we know someone that got hit.
Yeah,
they actually called
lost
his backyard flock of chickens. He lost all his chickens to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, over here, no one has lost their flocks at all. No one has lost their birds whatsoever. And yet the supermarkets are still saying, oh, it's the avian flu. No, it's not.
Could be carryover.
Well, I mean, you have to think of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. You call a whole bunch of people and now you have to have a breeding stock to start from. And then that breeding stock, you have to get those. And I'm telling you, if you've ever incubated eggs, you know that you incubate 10 eggs and 9 of them are roosters and 1's a hen.
Right.
Just
Those aren't going to do any
That's
good.
the way it rolls.
Yeah.
They don't give you.
No, but they fill the freezer quite nicely.
They do. They do, and make the stew.
Yeah, and then even your production breeds, like your high production breeds, are not going to start laying until 4 or 5 months.
Yeah,
and then they can't even use those right away because they start popping out minis. So they're not going to take until about 6. So we could just be hitting that backlog now of what it is. Yeah. But I mean, I would say next year there shouldn't be a shortage because you have an entire year's worth of cycle and they should be back up to full production again.
Yeah.
But and that's
new though. Something new will happen.
Something new, yeah.
That's the thing is I think I'm trying to watch how I approach this. I'm not trying to be Mr. Conspiracy Theory or anything like that, but I think there's a realism to what Tina's saying, which all of us, I think, to some degree have been saying. This is not going to stop. There's going to be something else. There's going to be something different. There's going to be another reason. We all were shocked when what is it you call it? The Black Plague, Blue, I believe you call it, came through, and
Yeah, the plague.
the plague.
I didn't call it Black Plague. I did call it plague. It had its own.
Okay. The plague, when it came through, was going to change things. We all knew that was going to happen. First, it was shortage of workers because everybody got sick, and then it was this happened and that happened, and all those things have moved on. All those things are no longer an issue, but we're still having the problem. We're still having the shortages. Then you hear the information I shared today. It's greed is what it is.
Yeah.
It's government control. It's corporation greed. It's whatever you want to call it, because the reality is that those things out there are no longer the issue. Those are not what our problems
are. The only countries that this is all not affecting are those who renationalized their banks and kicked out the national bank.
Right. That's
I think I would also argue too, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist either, but I would argue possibly that, if you look back through history, how do you control society?
Bam! Right there.
Yeah.
You can
split them up, you label them up. You put as many labels on different people to break down the communities as far as you possibly can, so they're not, so that they all see their differences and not what they've got in common.
Okay, now
so
that
you ostracize people till the population is weak, then you make them all scared of each other. You've made them scared to go out their own front doors. Gee, whoops, what's happening? And then,
then systematic
make life so impossible for them to live that they've got no choice but to stay in their houses and do as they're told.
But not
from a business standpoint, though, you never drop the price of a product. If your consumer is willing to pay that price, and if you sell 50 units at a higher price where you used to sell 75 and you're still making more money from it, the corporation doesn't care. I mean, they're in business to make business. And then you have states raising the basic minimum wage to $15 an hour or above, and companies aren't going to take out of their profit because they have, stakeholders that they need to answer to. So, I mean, I think when we look at that, we have to look at the entire environment of the economics. Yeah. It's about the workers. It's about the pay. It's about the fact that, insurance goes up, and all of those things compound together. And if you're willing to pay, $1.50 for an apple, they certainly aren't going to sell it to you for 50 cents, when the shortages are gone. They're just not going to, because that's bad business.
Find that they've got no food because everyone's going to be dead from starvation over here.
Right. They don't care. I mean, and when you run a business, big corporations do not care.
Because there won't be anyone to work it for.
Yeah. They think statistically, if there's less people and if I sell for a higher dollar, I'm still going to make my profit.
But they're not.
I'm not saying it's right.
And that's the problem. They've got to a point now where this is such a tipping point where people over here, with what strength they have left, are about to cause a revolution. And it's going to be
they as companies want to push it to that point before it goes over.
When that happens, because there's going to be people rioting, and the riots over here are not pleasant. They put LA to shame. When the riots start over here, they put LA to shame. And honestly, I will be too scared to leave my house. I'll totally get what they're doing. I will. But it is getting to that point over here, and I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for the one last straw to break the camel's back. And if they put through this anti-strike law that they are talking about doing, which forces people to go to work, whether they, if they're striking, they get the sack, or they can actually, by law at that point, companies or where your workplace is can say, no, you can't strike. You can't have the day off. You have to work these days. You have to work these hours. And if I tell you you're working till 3:00 in the morning after you've done a 24-hour shift, then you have to do it, because that's literally what's happening. And no, I'm not going to raise your wages, even though I haven't raised your wages for 12 years. And you guys have to go to the food banks. I don't really care about that, but you're going to stay where you are for the next 72 hours, and that's what you're going to do. And that's what's happening. And if they put that bill through, I'm scared for what's going to happen.
Well, you just have to look at history. That's all. It tells the whole story.
Yeah.
So here's where I need to interject this, and it's not. I'm not telling people to drink the Kool-Aid by any means. So don't think it's this way. Okay. When I decided on how I was moving my channel forward, it was based on bringing communities together. Okay.
Yeah.
Now look at the same thought process, bringing communities together with those things in mind we just discussed. Here's my point. If we bring communities together, regardless of our thought process, we're there to help each other when we need to and as much as we can. That is the meaning and the point behind why I wanted to do what I chose to do. It's why I'm collectively selecting who I'm sticking with and who I'm not sticking with. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Dad.
No. It had nothing to do with, don't take it that way. What I'm trying to say is ultimately that collective thought process from the two angles Blue and Janet just talked about has created what I'm talking about. Does that make sense and better understanding? Okay. We can help each other out better if we work together, and that's all. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. I don't care whether you got more money or I don't. If I got something to offer you and you got something to offer me, it goes back to what Ginger loves to do. Let's barter this shit together. Excuse me. I'll say it because it's not the first.
Ding, ding, ding. What was that list again, Tony? Can we get that list again?
You could say bloody hell.
My whole point is that I'm not out here to scare everybody, and I'm not trying to push it in one direction or another. I'm trying to get as many of us together that we can help each other out as we need to, and we can. I can't go over to Blue's house and help Blue clean her house. But if I know something she needs help with and I can help her over the phone or video or whatever, I'm there to do it. Ginger and I did this. We've bartered back and forth. She did pressure cooking. I did keeping her bread. It's what I'm trying to get. It's the point I'm trying to make.
Can I just say that this man has saved my sanity more times in the last 6 months than I care to tell you? Because the amount of times
that barter my mental health with you, Tony, if you'll stay with me for the next hour so I don't, throttle somebody, then, I'll help you with something.
I get it.
I mean, I speak to Tony probably nearly every single day.
Yeah.
The amount of times that this man has calmed me down because either I've been so angry and frustrated that I just can't get out of a tornado brain fight that's going on, or I'm in pieces because I'm so scared of what's happening over here right now and the realities of what that is and the realities of what people are going through that I can't stop crying.
Right.
Yeah. It's coming here too. Again, it is coming here too.
It's terrifying, and I'm not gonna lie. It is.
Tom's got 2 weeks to sell opening bid.
And he knows don't lowball him.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think that really ties into it, though. Again, coming back because I see what's happening where she's at. They've got. I'm here to tell everybody they got worse than we do. I mean, the honesty.
Yeah, I think they do.
Okay?
I think they do. I feel like it's coming here, but I think they do.
Individually, some people may have it worse than they do, but from a country perspective, they have it worse than we do. My point I'm trying to get to, though, is that whether it's a conversation, whether it's a skill, whether it's I got 10 jars to your 1, whether it's whatever it is, I'm trying to get us at least to a point where theoretically each of us can contribute something in a theory to help each other out. Okay.
Yeah. Which is why I'm doing what I'm doing with my channel this year. And, and the things like the Urban Homesteader Intro 101 that I'm writing at the moment, that all of the proceeds of that is going towards growing seeds and having the compost in the pots and the seeds to be able to give to an organization that actually takes all these veg seedlings around to the local food banks for people so that they can grow their own food.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, I've been doing it for a couple of years with stuff that I've got too many of, because obviously I get very excited and I might plant 300, you know, broccoli seeds, and you know I've
Right.
got room for 5, you know, so you know they all go off to somebody else who can actually make use of them. But that's literally what I'm doing at the moment, because I can't see any other way to help people right now apart from the skills sharing, you know.
You know what I think, like playing off of what Tony just said, is yeah, they've created the shortage, and yeah, we can sit here and theorize about it all day long, but the writing is on the wall. We know what they're doing. That's like I said earlier, the best way to control people is control the food supply. But what they've also created is they've created the need for people to band together. And when that happens, that's why the house wins. That's why we win and they lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in what she just said, in what Blue said, in what all of us have said one time or another, I could care less if they try to take all my vegetables and fruit away from me, because I will still have a way to grow those things. I will still have a way to can those things. I don't have meat, but I damn well will show somebody how to do something or trade them off for what I have.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I can't
You have
do
a
that if
skill
I
set.
don't have a network. That's
right.
right.
You got to have a network.
trying to get to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's right.
You're right on that, Tony.
Mhm.
Okay. So now everybody hopefully truly understands the whole point of bringing communities together.
Yes.
Okay. All right. On that note, I'm going to call it good. We've been here for an hour and 40 minutes. High fives to the side. Pull the puppets around and do what they need to do. Anyway, any last comments, guys?
Can you tell Michelle I don't know how to answer her questions in chat? I just actually found that
If you hold on just a second, you can talk to her. So just 1 minute. Okay.
Stick around. Stick around.
Stick around. All right, guys. Nothing else?
Nope.
Okay. Join us on Friday. Join us on Tuesday for a surprise.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Only here on Kettle. All right, guys. Have a great week. Be safe. Everybody, thank you for coming in. Thank you, panel, for coming in. Thank you, everybody in chat and those that did mod. I appreciate it greatly. See you guys next week.
Stay
See you later.
safe.